One, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Testing it out. Breaker 19.
This is the rubber duck.
There used to be somebody with a handle like that 2 years ago.
It was a song.
Yeah, but there was somebody when I was in Greensburg years ago. There was somebody that actually took and actually used that.
Rubber duck.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was probably my ex-brother-in-law.
And I was down in Lee at the time, and whenever he came through, you can see the circle. He'd always make a noise. Like, yep, okay. Morning, Mr. Hart.
Morning.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. During all the other meetings, I've had my.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the November 30th, 2021 Effingham BoS Selectmen's meeting. As we get started, let's do the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. All right, let's dive in. Selectmen's minutes of November 23rd. I make a motion to approve the selectmen's minutes of November 23rd, 2021. Do I hear a second?
Second.
All those in favor, for aye?
Aye.
Make a motion to approve the non-public minutes from November 23rd, 2021. Do I hear a second?
Second.
All those in favor, for aye?
Aye.
And we have a Woodlawn Cemetery agreement that we signed today for a new lot purchase. We have a 2021 abatement form that we signed. A management representation letter. What was that one again?
For the audit.
For the audit. Okay, yeah. So the green CPA audit was basically the cover letter that needs to be attached to the documents. We end up with our final report. The animal shelter service contract. Are you in favor of going forward with that one?
Oh, yes.
Yep, good, yep, that actually saves the town money on the other end. And a notice of intent to cut. Make a motion to approve the manifest dated December 2, 2021 in the amount of $22,548.69. Here a second.
Second.
All those in favor for the aye?
Aye.
All right, we're gonna skip number 4. We've got a guest coming in about 25 minutes to talk about recycling. Review of the mail. We had an email from NHMA regarding posting of our transfer station ordinance. So that has been redone and will include, as Eric pointed out, the fee structure for the changes that need to be made. And there's a couple of price changes. So it'll be the notice plus the price changes for those fees. There was a letter that went to Mr. Gard from Meter LLC. And there was the 2022 proposed Carroll County expenditure sheet. Next week in our manifest, we will be paying our apportionment to the county, which is a little over $200,000. So we'll have our payment in for the year as a result of that one. And next, let's get into comments. Audrey is on vacation, but she did put together a quick bullet point of the things she worked on before she left. She followed up on the oil container ship date, did not get a response back to what the message she left. She responded to the Meter LLC letter based on the selectmen's discussions. She updated the executive budget. She introduced Skip Lyle of Beaver Deceiver to me, and I have followed up with him to find out if he'd be willing to take a look at possible solutions for our issue on South River below Snow Road Bridge. Rotating be about cameras. Contacted NHMA on the public notice, which we got the response to. Updated the public notice and started the process of workers' comp for Sergeant Welch. And corresponded with state on grant closure. We'll have the interest invoice this week. And Darlene was just telling me it came in, it's a little over $500. And at the town meeting a couple of years ago, we had voted to cover the interest with $900, so we'll have enough to pay our bill without any issues whatsoever there. Selectmen's comments, Lenny.
On a couple of Audrey's things there.
Yep.
She called me. She got a response from the oil tank people.
Oh, okay,
They were supposed to try and ship it out the end of last week,
good.
whether it happened or not. And also she called me and said she spoke with Kevin Cody. And he was gonna check on the door and get back to her. And she says, don't get back to me. I'm going on vacation. Call Lenny. He said, okay, well, but I've yet to hear from him.
Okay, all right.
And I did talk with Ron, reminded him about the granite at Mike's. He did forget about it, but he said he will get it. And shouldering, he was hoping, when I talked to him, he says, I was hoping that we could do some shouldering. That's why he left his machine there. But unfortunately, left some gravel in it. It's kind of froze. Whether he's got it thawed out or not, I don't know. And to clean the ditches on Champion Hill, that was another thing. Did you hear anything back from Hanson?
I did talk to him on that, and basically, his recommendation is to leave that drainage hole, that small hole open. It's been packed with the sandbags. The drainage is working, because when I went down there, the water had pushed sand right up to the bags, but the water was able to go down through. There's enough rebar and concrete in that header that was put in, so it's not going anywhere. But if we go seal that, because of the way the drainage comes down the hill, and because of the poor ditching that's there, we're gonna basically have ponding on the edge of that road, which is potentially an ice issue. So,
Well, there's another depression started, separate from the one that the hole that's already there,
okay,
more on the dirt end, the dirt road
further
portion
up,
of it.
okay,
Probably, I don't know, 4 or 5 feet from the original hole.
okay.
I don't know if that's starting underneath,
No, it's probably, the whole thing is probably
so.
going.
And
How big is it?
Well, right now, it's probably 3 inches in diameter by 4 inches deep.
Okay. But it's moving.
So whether it's gonna get any bigger or not, I haven't noticed it before, so it's probably happened in the last week or so.
All right,
Beavers are working like crazy in there, so. Brad had bumped into Brad. He was there showing me pictures of the beavers that he took the night before in the lake and in the river. Yeah, fresh chewings everywhere. So.
the trapper is busy.
Yeah, I don't know if he's still trying to trap out of there.
Oh,
or
he
not.
is. Yeah, he's got a contract with Province Lake Association.
I
and
know
he's
he
got
did.
Permission to go 1,500 feet down from the Bailey culverts.
Yeah.
Down into the big dam. No.
And you don't, I think Audrey called for a tire pickup at the transfer station.
I've called a number of times.
Okay,
Yeah, and they can't get any specific date.
oh, okay.
Yeah. I've been
Because they're
working with-
piling them up outside.
I know. I'll send another note down there, but I'll let you know.
No, it's not.
And they also like a dumpster so they can get rid of the refrigerators.
I
before
talked to,
snow.
Mark yesterday
Yeah.
about
okay,
all of that, and they still don't have a date for the dumpster either.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because once snow gets in the dumpster,
I
it gets
know.
pretty slippery. so
Yeah.
Moving stuff around.
I sent another note yesterday to
Okay. And
remind them, but
Brad mentioned that their recertifications are all coming up. I was talking with Mark yesterday that maybe we could Zoom that, because Mark can't really,
right, they talked about that, and he said maybe a Thursday would be the best for the 4 of them to come in and sit in here.
Yeah.
And do something, so we just need to find the schedule, of the trainings that they have available.
It's
Yeah.
virtual online,
Right.
anytime.
So they'll do
So
that.
it's us to schedule it, go online and look at it.
Yeah.
And when I had traded emails with them earlier in the year, there was the only course that they can't take that's virtual is the one we took last fall from the library doing the same video conference piece.
So we will work on getting that done too.
Now, the other key thing is to note the date, the time, and the name of the course, because after everybody left, everybody forgot it. So when their paperwork came in, I had to go chase it all down again, so.
Okay.
so whether Ron will get any shouldering off this year, I don't know. So He's gonna try it.
weather dependent.
And he knows pretty much the spots on Townhouse Road that really need it. So
Okay. Do we need to put a tarp over the tires that are outside to try and keep the snow and water out of them? And ice?
I don't know. I don't know how many they've got stored out there. So
All right, but if we don't get them picked up and we gotta start doing stuff out there, they won't take them if the water, ice and
well,
snow. in 'em.
they'll take them, but it costs more.
Oh, okay. All right,
Yeah, that new pricing is $5.50 a tire if it's got leaves or water in it.
okay.
You know, them guys pretty good. Mark said they take, some of them come in, they get rocks and everything, and they try to keep them as clean as they can.
Yep.
That's all I got for you now.
Okay,
I have a lot of appointments.
okay, that sounds good. And from a standpoint, again, we got another beaver out of below the Snow Road Bridge out of South River. The trappers opened up the dam one more time, and they're in there fast and furious rebuilding it. So as I said before, I've reached out to a company that Audrey has had previous experience with. Potentially, we could put something down in the water in the spring after ice is out, and potentially not have to have a weekly dam removal project going on. From that standpoint, that's all I had from that part for selectmen's comments this week. Under old business, we're going to revisit two of the budget sheets that we had approved because we have updated information in a couple of areas. The first is the EMS contract 4215 line item. We received the report from Action Ambulance with the 6 towns. And our proration for next year is $119,292.62. That's up from well, it's actually down from the $125,000 we budgeted last year because we thought we were going to get hit with the increase last year, but the towns decided not to do their reconfiguration. So from a standpoint of the budget, even though it's an increase over what we're actually the actual numbers we're gonna pay this year is about 89 grand. It's still covered within the tax base because of the way we raised the taxes last year. So it's actually gonna be a reduction from 125 down to 120. So, any questions, gentlemen?
No.
All right, make a motion to change the amount on line item 4215 EMS contract to $120,000 for the 2022 budget. Do I hear a second?
Second.
All those in favor, all right?
All right.
Aye.
Good. And the highways and streets line item 4312, because of the way that the budget sheet had been set up, there was an incorrect adding of the numbers, so we actually need to reapprove the bottom line number. The request for the 2022 budget is $778,750. Do I hear a second?
Okay.
All those in favor, for aye?
All right.
Aye.
And that change was about $4 grand or $4,500.
It's 40.
40,000? Oh, $40,000, sorry. That was because there was an automatic assumption that money was gonna be taken out of the unassigned fund balance like it was for last year, and that is not a decision that's been made yet. Okay.
You get one of them, Tom? 'Cause I get 2.
Yeah.
No, I didn't get one.
That's
Oh,
So,
There you go.
so I went and grabbed Darlene. So that's like, okay, I see it on the list, but I don't see it. All right. All right, let's see. Public comments. Do we have anybody online? All right, any public comments from the public? Mr. Edwards.
This is about the Snow Road Bridge again.
Yep.
I talked to Eric Phillip, who was the engineer from HEB that was overseeing the project. And he said the town negotiated with the engineer and then bridge builder to keep the cost down. That's why they didn't need to do that retention. So did you guys sign off on anything?
We had to when we signed the contract, because it was in the contract.
What?
It would have been part of the contract.
No, this wasn't. part of the contract. This was something that you guys negotiated after, so that they didn't have to do, he said, retain wall and they were gonna do more road work. You guys negotiated to keep the cost down.
I would have to, Lawrence, off the top of my head, I don't remember. But I've got my weekly notes from last year and I'll dive into it this week and see what I can find.
You sign anything, Tom?
I don't remember signing anything, no. I can't say for sure, but at this point right now in time, I can't remember what I'm looking at.
Sounds like he gave me a BS story.
Pardon me?
What's that?
I said, it sounds like he gave me a BS story.
That's why I want to go take a look at what my notes would say on that, Lawrence, because I know we had several different discussions in that whole time period. And I do make notes of the meeting for myself. So let me just check it. I've got my book from last year. I'll look at it this week.
So when's that,
Pardon me?
when's that going?
When is it gonna happen?
Yeah.
I'm gonna look at it this week and we'll talk about it next week.
Okay. Now, Lenny just mentioned about the beavers on the Bailey Road.
Yep.
Well, the culvert's gonna go all the way through, so for beavers to follow up one of those 2-foot culverts, no way to unplug it.
The culverts were unplugged when the temporary repair was done. There were 42-inch culverts that were put into the 48-inch culvert was there because we couldn't slide a 48 inside a 48. It was determined we didn't need to put them in from both ends, which originally we thought we were going to have to do. So they scuba geared through that entire 4-foot culvert and cleaned out all of the beaver debris that was in there. So there wasn't any beaver debris in it when they were done. The trapper that we have in town is actually under contract with the Province Lake Association. So it's an annual contract. They pay him to keep all the beaver managed from the lake 1,500 feet downstream from Bailey Bridge. So, and he's been in there working it. And because of the issues I've been talking to him about with Snow Road, the beaver activity this year is horrible all around the county. He's got 9 different places he's working on right now. And we're one of his chosen few.
Well, what I was getting at is if the beavers plug that 2-foot culvert, there's no way you can run anything up.
It's not a 2-foot culvert, it's a 42-inch culvert. That's more than 2 feet.
2 foot on the inlet into that bridge.
It's a 42-inch culvert shoved in a 48-inch culvert.
I think you better back, get their measure that chart.
Yeah, they're not, it's small. I don't know if it's 2 foot, but it's not 42.
Okay, then I will.
It could be 3, but I had to tell under the water.
Okay. The water's flowing. And I will tell you, I was worried after we had that last big rainstorm, we had 3-4 inches. And when I went down there, the water level hadn't even gone up. And it's because of the dam management out of Province Lake. So I understand the concern you have, but I'm also knowing based on the hydrology reports that were done around that proposal for the bridge repair, that the management of the water level at those culverts is also determined by the dam and determined by the beaver dam 1,500 feet downstream.
Sure.
And the trapper's basically keeping the 15, he does not want the water level because of the additional flooding going up into that swamp area. So he was regularly opening up the dam down below.
The other thing is, did the engineering of the Bailey Road Bridge go out for bid?
Not yet. No, I'm actually working right now with Mike because he's got a template for it that we used last time out. And I'm hoping to have that to come here within the next week or two so that we can basically discuss it. So there's no bid yet. The engineering work is being done for the DES permit. That's the only thing that's been approved at this point.
So the engineering is going out for bid.
No, we use the town engineer, which is HEB Engineering.
Isn't that more than $15,000?
Lawrence, it'd be the same thing with the attorney. We pay the attorney more than 50, the attorney is a town attorney. We pay the town attorney more than 50 grand a year. We're not bidding out the attorney every year.
No, because the legal fees you can spend, but the engineering fees, anything over $15,000 supposed to go for bid.
It didn't.
There's
We made a decision,
regulation
we
that
made a
says that.
decision because of the relationship and the previous history that's already been done with HEB in that area, and we were going to use them for this engineering piece. Does it mean they'll be locked into the final build of that bridge? Absolutely not. That's all going out to bid. So this is the upfront to get the DES permit, to be able to get us in a format where we can have the information in time to be able to get the bid out, get the meetings discussed with whoever's going to come in to bid on it, have their bids back, so we will know by town meeting what the number is pending the town meeting vote.
So you're skirting the regulation and not putting it out for bid.
Not my opinion, in the opinion of some others, but that can be your take. I'm good with that.
It's not my opinion, that the regulation says anything over 15,000 goes out for bid.
Well,
Wasn't this an emergency situation though? Which,
Yeah, I've heard that too, but you're not gonna replace that until sometime July, August. You've got plenty of time.
we're going to basically have the engineering done for the DES permit so that we can actually do the bid work, and the bid will go out sometime in December for return by early February. So we'll know what the number is, who the contractor is, everything for town meeting. So engineering firms, contractor, whoever's building it, will be all done when we get to town meeting. So if the town decides they want to approve the project for the bridge, they'll know all the information right up front. If they decide they don't want to approve that bridge at that point in time, then we'll have to deal with that on the other end.
So do you have a contract with HEB for that?
Yes,
Is that in the office?
it should be, yes. I'll just ask Darlene to get you a copy of it and send it to you. That way you don't have to do a 91A. Would you? Is that agreeable, Lawrence?
That's fine.
Okay. Good. Hold on 1 minute so I can make a couple notes.
A lot of, at Bailey Road was very high last night. About as high as I've seen it. So
That will,
it's better, probably as quick as he opens the dam. maybe for that. So,
that he's been working steady weekly.
plus I don't know how often he goes there, but
Right now it's weekly. He's trying to get down there at least weekly. He's down Snow Road almost twice a week at this point.
Yeah.
But I mean, the beaver problem's not gonna go away.
but if he's got traps, he's gotta go there every day.
Nope, every 2 days.
No, it was, used to be every day, unless it was under the ice, and then they go every 3 days.
No, he told me every 2. So I don't,
Maybe they changed the regulation.
hey, then he may have been responding based on some of the things you said, maybe under the ice, over the ice, I don't know, but you and I were talking earlier in the year.
Yeah.
It was every 2.
Yeah, I thought it had to be checked every 24 hours. Unless it was ice.
Well, he's the primary trapper for fishing
Yeah.
game for Carroll County.
So he probably, yeah, they may.
I'm
have
assuming he
changed
knows
the
what
law.
the reg is. All right. Hold on 1 second. If I don't make these notes right now, I'm not gonna forget it, and I got some to-dos for Lawrence. Okay, Diane.
So I'm curious where the notice of intent to cut is for.
Where it is,
Wilkinson Swamp Road.
Wilkinson Swamp Road.
Thank you. I was just curious because I know that there's tags along a piece where Nutter and 153 meet, so I was just checking to see if it was that yet or not.
No, they haven't decided that.
I'm worried about that part. Okay.
Yeah, there's going to be a proposal to put nine building lots into that 83 acres. So,
That's not a horrible amount for that.
no, each lot, apparently one lot's gonna be like in the nature of 25 acres because of the swamp, lowland area. And the others are gonna be like 8 to 10. That's what I heard from one of the planning board members. So.
Yeah, we did sign that intent to cut a couple of months ago, 6 weeks ago anyway.
Okay.
Roger Dallin is the one that's gonna cut it.
And the town forester, when he gets notice of those, goes out and looks at them. And the town assessment person, David, goes out and looks at the sites periodically to see what's going on. So, we're doing things now around additional follow-up we hadn't done in the past.
Yeah, so far I haven't seen any activity where I can see it driving through there. So.
Okay. Good. Vicky,
Not sure if I can answer this.
go for it.
Last selectmen's meeting, there was a spot for Mike Cahill to come at 10 o'clock and he never showed up.
Yep.
Was anything discussed about that? or-
I actually did a follow-up with him. There was no new news from the health officer standpoint, so that's why he didn't.
Okay.
Anything else? Good. We're at the 9:27 timeframe. Mr. Farnham. Welcome. Good morning.
Well, thank you for.
Let's talk about-
having me over.
Recycling.
Well, congratulations. You're one of the better recyclers in the area. From my figures from 2019, you recycled at a 26% rate with your single stream. So that's good.
Thank you.
Why I'm here is because the Tamworth Board of Selectmen, whom I am a former member of, no longer a selectman, but I was appointed to the Tamworth Transfer Station Improvement Committee. And one of the requests of the Board of Selectmen was that we look with surrounding towns to see if there's any way we can collaborate on on waste handling. As you all know, all our towns are spread out. Your transfer station is 19 miles away from our transfer station. Makes it a little difficult to have something in a location that is good for everybody, makes it easy. But there are other things that possibly we can collaborate on. Information is one of the big things. How you do something might be something that we could use. How we do something might be something that you could use. So, as I said, the selectmen wanted us to look at regionalization. That was one of their criteria for the committee. So far, we've reached out to 6 towns. And the towns are Sandwich, Moultonborough, Madison, Freedom, Effingham, and Tamworth. Ossipee, they had come in and talked to us earlier, and they were in the group, and they've declined. Everyone has basically declined so far to form a cooperative district. But I still think it's important that we try and share what information we have to make our waste problem disappear. Waste doesn't go away, it goes somewhere, and those places, as you know, are filling up, and the cost of transportation is getting horrendous and costing us a lot of money. Presently, Tamworth, our committee is going to make a presentation to our Board of Selectmen on Thursday night. We're looking at a USDA grant, and hopefully that'll fund about 35% of a $1.5 million facility. What we presently do is we pull out glass, cardboard, aluminum cans and tin cans out of our MSW, municipal solid waste. And those are shipped differently. Our cardboard now is gonna cost us $122 a ton to ship because we don't bale it, so we can't sell it. They charge us a $45 handling fee for every load that we take out. So it gets up into the $136 a ton just to get rid of our cardboard. Very little rebate. Our glass we pull out and we put it into a separate container, and that's shipped through Waste Management, and it costs us presently $98 and change to ship that.
So our $36 a ton is a pretty good number?
Well, but you forgot to add your shipping.
Yep. Yep.
So, and I don't know, I mean, that varies, I don't know, you've got a contract with Waste Management, I believe. So what I did was I took our total tonnage of what we shipped.
Yep.
For 2020. I'm
Right,
using
yeah.
2020 numbers across the board for everything, because you can't compare 21 to 22 to 19, it just doesn't work. And you add total tonnage, total cost shipping and tipping,
Yep.
and it came out to $98. So we saved roughly $7.98, I think is the figure, on our glass per ton by not putting it in our MSW. Now, I don't know what you do with your glass, whether your glass goes into your MSW or you put it in
No,
your
it's,
recycling.
when we redid the contract a couple of years back, we actually, as part of that contract, started separating glass. Because the contract price, the way we had been doing it, was gonna be $96 a ton for everything. By slipping out the glass, it was 36 a ton plus shipping.
Right.
But then the other waste was gonna be 63 or 64 plus shipping, so we moved the number from 96 down to 36 and 64.
Right. Yeah. I'd be interested in seeing your contract so that I can use those in my puzzle of figuring out who's paying what.
We can do that.
Because as we go back to negotiate contracts with Waste Management 3 years from now, because ours expires in 24, I want to be able to say, hey, you did this for Effingham. What about us? You know, that's the collaboration that I think
I'll send it over.
Yep, thank you.
pays good to work collaboratively with other towns. So we have the same thing with Sandwich, which I went and talked with, and we're working on trying to get their information, and I'll send back what I can and figuring out where we're at. And that's the collaboration I think is really possible for us to have a facility and for your folks to drive from here over to Tamworth just isn't gonna work.
Nope.
And frankly, environmentally, it's not a good fit, because you've got all those people driving those cars back and forth. It doesn't make sense to carry a little bag. Some towns do pay as you throw, which is something that we'll consider, I'm sure, in the future if we ever build a facility. It's expensive. Waste management is expensive, and it's only going to get worse. You know, the reports from the state say that our landfill space is decreasing rapidly. As it decreases in other states, these places haul significant amount of trash from out of state and dump it in our state. Interstate commerce, nothing you can do about it. Unless the state owned the facility, then they could do something about it. These are private facilities. It's all the government step out of the way and let private industry take care, and then the government has to pay, which is us or you. And
So
so,
I'm not, as you said earlier, I'm not sure a formal regional organization is gonna work, but I do believe a committee representation from each town having periodic discussions, even if it's like quarterly, around here's what we're doing, here's what we're running into, sharing ideas around designs or equipment or things like that, I think would be of value.
can't hurt.
Yeah, no, it would actually potentially help us, so.
I mean, we worked on an ambulance contract with 6 towns.
We did.
Granted, that's a little bit different than handling trash, although you're hauling, same thing, you're hauling people, you're hauling trash. And that's expensive. You know, and that's the big thing, and that's why I'm here, is just to give you a briefing and to congratulate you on being one of the best that I've researched for recycling, the amount you recycle. Now, I don't know what you get for revenue from your recycled trash.
The metal separation, by the time we look at the revenue we make on the metal and the hauling fees, we're probably covering about 75% of the cost of just the metal part of it.
So when you say metal, are you talking your heavy metals that you ship
Anything,
out or
yeah.
tin cans and aluminum?
Nope, heavy metals. So it's like,
Just heavy metals, yeah.
people coming in with different sheets of metal and other things, and we recycle that.
Yeah, I don't consider that in our recycling because we are very fortunate in this area. We have Rickers and you've also got North Country Recycling, I think is their name. You know, so they want a whole dumpster full of metal, you know, so if you're just throwing metal in there, they're happy.
Yep.
Um,
And the other thing we started 2 years ago for our historic town hall preservation project. Mr. Regal and his wife had up a program where we annually, from basically Earth Day thereabouts through the end of October, Steve, asked people to separate their tin cans, soda cans. And we actually take those and Steve and Sue package those up after they flatten them, haul them away, and we actually get revenue from there that goes toward that project.
Yeah.
So there are large volumes of people that fill that trailer once a week. There's also a very large number of people that just throw everything into the dumpsters. So we're
So you're
trying to get
saying,
education on that one to make it even better.
so your single stream is aluminum cans, cardboard, plastics. Do you do all plastics in single stream or? is it
1, 2, and 5.
1, 2, and 5s, okay. And your cardboard and office paper and mail paper, all goes into
one.
your single stream.
Yep.
So you're pulling out your aluminum out of your single stream to make a little,
When during that part of the year,
During-
it's
yeah.
voluntary. People that want to support it can do it. Those
Right.
that don't, just throw it in the regular
in the single stream.
compactor. Yeah.
Good, well, I don't know what else I can say other than I would like to get some information from you, and I've written down what I'd like. And that would be your budget for your transfer station for 2020, amount of trash collected, you know, in your categories, MSW, which I'm sure you've got all that stuff somewhere in the thing.
We've got individual invoices for it, but I understand that Waste Management can actually produce us a year-to-date number that says, here's what you've had.
Right, and having the cost and everything, I can sort of help see what your picture is, and you know, I'd be willing, obviously, to send you back anything I calculate out, just so that you can have it as information, or is it something to go into the recycling? Whichever the case might be. And I think that's about it. So I've got this, I've got your little congratulation letter I put for you. Which, you know, as I say, is very good. You guys did really well, as far as I could tell.
Yep.
You know, I used 19 numbers, they weren't 20 numbers. So, anyway, I appreciate your time, allowing me to come in and speak, and if you ever have any questions, I'm available.
Do you want to take a question from the audience?
Oh, sure, why not?
Does anybody have any questions based on what he's discussing? Any
No,
feelings
that
one way or the other?
1.5
Good idea, bad idea?
That $1.5 million is scary, isn't it?
You mentioned glass.
Yes,
You get paid for your glass, or you just take it out?
no, we don't get paid for it, and I'll be perfectly honest, one of my goals would be that we actually pulverize our glass at our facility. We spend a little over $4,636.88, I think, to get rid of our glass. We get rid of about 44 tons of glass a year. If we pulverized it on site, it could be used in our roads. You know, what's it gonna cost to get a machine to pulverize the glass? BSEP, which is a 4-town cooperative down the southern part of the state, they have a machine that literally you can take your hand afterwards and slide it in. It's just like beach sand. Whatever their hammers are that they have in their machine, which is it's a relic of a machine, but it works really good. It's something that, you know, some guy said, oh, I can make you that. And he welded it all together and it works. Yeah, it's noisy. They say it costs about $2,000 a year to replace the hammers in it and work on it. But we're spending $4,000. So if it only costs $2,000, we use it a lot less than they would, because they got 4 towns, they're dealing with 60,000 people. We could probably not have to do 2,000 every year, so it's a net gain. If we're using it, we're not hauling it, we're not spending the money. Environmentally better, why not?
So is the place down at Wakefield still running?
They're taking it to Rochester.
Yeah, yeah.
That's where ours goes. No,
Well,
they're not. And that's a different grinding process.
Got it, okay.
That's what they call PGA, processed aggregate glass aggregate. And it is coarser. Even though that is okay for underlying in culverts and things like that. But people, if a little fleck of glass comes up, people just panic. The stuff isn't gonna cut your tires. DOT has it, they can use it in their road, they have to mix it with their gravel. They don't do it because it's not cost effective, because they have to drive to Rochester, pick it up and haul it back to wherever they are, and then run it through a mixer so that they can mix it with their crushed gravel. So I'm just thinking, do it on site.
Yeah, you mentioned it costs about $2,000 a year for the hammers and the whatnot, maintenance, upkeep. How much does the machine originally cost?
I don't know what it costs, and that's one of the things I need to find out is, because I think it was built by just a real jack of all trades that said, I can weld job something, and I don't know what it costs. They've really got a nice facility there. If you ever want to see a real operation, they do it really well. And it all made sense and really was an eye opener as to how to run a place. We don't have the room or the population that we need to service to have quite as large a facility, but you still have to do it on a scale that works. I anticipate if we get this building and get our stuff and equipment in, we'll save about $54,000 a year, which isn't chump change. I've seen town meetings argue about $500 to paint the steps on the tower for an hour and a half. So I'm sure you all have seen the same. Well, do we really need to do that this year? Can we postpone that? Well, okay, next year it's gonna cost you $6, so yeah, that was a real smart decision. And that's the other thing, the inflation rate. At 4%, we're looking at a $40,000 to $50,000 increase every year we don't do it, if we ever want to do it. Payback, I figure, is in the 12 years field. But right now, there's this one grant out there that if we can get it applied for, we'll get almost $500,000 out. So I want to jump for it because that won't come around again. So, any other questions or comments?
We'll ask Waste Management for a year-to-date report and give you 11 months of data.
Well, if you can do 2020, so everything,
2020,
everything-
2020?
2020, so that
Okay.
everything should be closed by now.
Yeah, sure.
Should. There's always a linger. So anyway, I'll give you this.
Okay.
Paper. You want me to give it to
Yep,
Darlene?
please, yep.
Excuse me,
For the
folks.
minutes.
Hey, Darlene. How are you? Good, you?
For that recycled paper.
That is. I think it's 70% recycled.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. What's in your trash? The big three. Cardboard and paper, 23%. Food waste, 21%. Plastic, 12%. 50%, 56% of the MSW really shouldn't be going in your MSW. And so if you look at your MSW and how much you're paying, you should be able to cut that in half. If you've got the facility to do the work. In small towns, it's really tough.
Yeah, we don't have a facility.
Yeah.
At this point.
Is your transfer station in open bay?
No, Wednesdays, Saturdays, Sundays.
Be all right if I drive over and walk in?
You sure can.
Thanks.
Take a look.
Anything else, you know how to get a hold of me, I guess. Well, send up a smoke signal, I'll answer it
You
eventually.
can do that.
Thank you very much. for your
Willie,
time.
thank you very much for
I
coming
appreciate it.
in
Have a
and
great
sharing that.
day, and good luck with your stuff.
Yep, good.
Because there's always a lot of,
There is.
thank you.
Okay. We need non-public.
I don't.
Good. All right, so there's a budget committee meeting tonight at 6 PM. You got next week's selectmen's meeting in December 7th. Budget committee meeting December 7th, and I thought that had been changed to the 14th, but it'll be up on the website. Selectmen's meeting will also be on Tuesday, the 14th, and the budget committee will also be December 14th. I don't have the budget committee for December 7th.
No, you don't. It hasn't changed.
Well, let's check it with Dave, and if that's the case, then we'll just make sure we get it properly posted on the town website.
You know, it's not on the schedule.
No, I didn't, I was just checking the updated schedule yesterday,
File, this is the update.
Okay.
There's nothing,
11:30 to 12:14.
yeah,
That's the one that he sent out just a week ago.
Okay.
So. All right. Yes,
Can I take the stage 1 second?
yeah,
One of the things that I would request is if you could send us a letter just saying that, you see the regionalization of a facility, that we would work together with is not practical, but yet you'd like to collaborate in information, just so that I can put it in this big pile of paper that I'm gonna give to our board of selectmen.
we can do that.
I would appreciate that.
Good.
Thank you very much.
We'll
Thank you.
draft that and sign that next week.
Thanks.
Good. All right, anything else? Anything?
No.
Tom? Okay, we're down at the end. What do you want to
yeah. That sounds well said,
do? Okay, all those in favor, pull it aye.
All right.
All right, thank you very much. Adjourned at 9:47.
Go.